What to do in Tallahassee, Florida. The state capital of Florida, Tallahassee, boasts nature, museums and, of course, the Seminoles. This delightful balance means there's always a way to rearrange the things to do in Tallahassee depending on the weather or if the kids aren't up for another hike. 10. Railroad Square Art District. In the 1970s, a World War II-era industrial warehouse area lay dormant not far from downtown. In the ensuing years, it would become a part of a fresh revitalization that transformed the abandoned space into a place of creativity and expression, otherwise known as Railroad Square Art District. Vibrant and colorful, the district has been taken over by artists and artisans who've transformed the buildings into a mix of art galleries and boutique stores. It has a perennial atmosphere complemented by the array of murals, prismatic buildings and random attractions. 9. Tallahassee Museum. If you're seeking a unique way to experience local history, then you must add the Tallahassee Museum to your itinerary. The Tallahassee Museum blurs the line between a history repository and an adventure park. The zip lines, hiking trails and wildlife enclosures make it a thrilling experience that will keep the entire family entertained. Begin on the elevated boardwalks by a series of enclosures home to almost 20 different species. 8. Mission San Luis de Appalachi. The original Mission San Luis de Appalachi was built in the 17th century. Although the first iteration was destroyed, visitors can get an impressive look at mission life thanks to the recreation of several buildings, including the fort, church, blacksmith and a Spanish house. Now a registered U.S. national landmark, Mission San Luis de Appalachi is an amazing place to explore, complete with genuine artifacts from the 17th and 18th centuries. 7. Knott House Museum. Over 120 years later, the famous building was donated to the city's historic society. Today, it functions as a museum that tells the home's fascinating story, starting with George Proctor, the emancipation and the series of interesting characters that called the Knott House home in the ensuing years. Restored to its 1920s grandeur, the Knott House Museum is complete with period furniture and you can gain further insight by joining a guided tour. 6. Florida State University. A huge part of life in Tallahassee, the Florida State University is home to over 30,000 students and covers a huge part of northern downtown. Tallahassee has its own history outside of the university, but the campus is a big part of local culture, from both an academic and sports perspective. 5. Cascades Park. Cascades Park is a popular urban space with walking trails, amphitheaters, playgrounds and water features. On a typical Florida summer day, you could escape to the coast, but you'll also find over 70 water jets in the park's playgrounds. To stretch your legs, wander down the walking trails, past soaring trees with Spanish moss, creating an array of light and shade. 4. Museum of Florida History. Since opening in 1977, the Museum of Florida History has been a one-stop shop for locals and visitors wishing to learn everything about the Sunshine State. Visitors will see artifacts, relics and memorabilia from long before Florida joined the Union. Set in downtown Tallahassee, the museum is easy to reach, leaving you plenty of time to explore the large museum. There are 3 permanent exhibits that are complemented by various traveling exhibitions. 3. Tallahassee Automobile Museum. Whether you're a motorhead or not, there's plenty to keep your interest at the Tallahassee Automobile Museum. The enormous indoor space boasts a spectacular collection of vintage cars, but some rather odd creations you'll be happy aren't on the roads today. The museum first opened in 1996 and today features over 140 vehicles. Most of these were made right here in the United States, with the Tallahassee Automobile Museum putting a high emphasis on cars that became a part of the country's culture. 2. St. Mark's National Wildlife Refuge. One of the best ways to experience the nature around Tallahassee is to spend some time in St. Mark's National Wildlife Refuge. It harbors a rich mix of ecosystems that help make Florida's Gulf Coast so special. Adventurers will be able to explore tidal creeks, marshlands, estuaries and even islands, using a variety of hiking trails and watercraft. As the name suggests, this is a refuge for wildlife and you should expect to see some on your travels. The park is home to alligators, coyotes and black bears, not to mention a prominent population of migratory birds in winter. 1. Florida Historic Capitol Museum. Set within Tallahassee's former Capitol building, the Florida Historic Capitol Museum will take you on a journey through the state's government and political history. But before you even step foot in the museum, you'll be captivated by the sight of one of the city's most significant pieces of architecture. After being built in 1845, the beautiful building, complete with its iconic red and white awnings, was the Capitol until 1977. After admiring the facade, its columns and spire, wander inside to the opulent lobby, fixed with a glass ceiling. Once home to Florida's state leaders, 21 rooms in the building now house the museum's exhibits.